Hello everyone, this is Jordan with ADS Holsters. In today's video, we're going to be covering the ADS sound alarm, battery replacement, what you'll need, tools, how to do it, and then some other details around the ADS sound alarm. I'll have timestamps for when the battery replacement portion begins. When you order an ADS holster, it includes this alarm, or you can buy this alarm separately as a replacement, backup, spare, whatever you want. Every time you order the ADS sound alarm, it'll come in this box included with the carabiner, a lanyard for use with the holster, the sound alarm, and batteries included in the sound alarm. I'll slide all this out of the way here. Our ADS sound alarm, the batteries we use have a shelf life of 5 years, and then the alarm has a guaranteed runtime of 30 minutes. You can get a lot longer activation time out of it. This particular unit activated and sounded for an hour and 40 minutes before there's a cue for replacing the battery. So when to replace batteries in this, after it has been activated for an extremely long time, you will begin to notice the sound will start cutting in and out, and it'll be a weird chirping instead of the continuous alarm sound that it normally is. After about 10 minutes of regular activation, after running for over 2 hours, this alarm is now making the sound described where it's indicative that you need to replace the battery. I'm kind of muffling it with my hand, but reinsert the pin. So that kind of intermittent chirping instead of the steady alarm sound is the indication to replace batteries in your ADS sound alarm. So if this has been left out in the cold for the whole winter, or this was tripped and activated and just left overnight sounding, if you left it behind at a camp or around food to deter bears, that's when you'll probably want to replace it when you know it's been activated for a long time. Other than that, once every 5 years is going to be a typical battery replacement time for the ADS sound alarm. Now we'll cover what we need. So the ADS sound alarm takes 2 CR1632 batteries. Does not have to be Energizer brand, can be any CR1632 lithium watch battery. Usually you can find these at Amazon, Walmart. They're very cheap. I believe these are $2 a piece. And tools required will be a prying tool. That can be a butter knife, pocket knife. If you do use a knife, be very careful when you're putting this pressure into popping open the case. And a very small Phillips head screwdriver. To get into the ADS sound alarm, because these use watch batteries, there's actually federal regulations that it requires a tool to get into this, and it requires a certain amount of pressure to get it open. That is why this is so difficult, is to prevent kids from cracking these open and getting into the batteries and swallowing them. So this can be a little bit challenging, but just stay patient and follow the directions in this video and you'll be just fine. So you'll notice there's a seal, or an edge around it rather. We're going to begin prying all around this to basically take off the back of this to get access to the batteries. So you can take your butter knife or whatever tool. If you choose a knife, that's fine. I like to start at the bottom corners. That's usually the easiest place to kind of start wedging something into there, and then just begin twisting and try to get the back popped open. Once you get the back popped open, and this can require a lot of force, just stay at it, be careful not to slip too much, and then once you kind of get the bottom started, you can work your way up the side, just inserting it and twisting as you go, and getting these top ones can be a little bit difficult. You might end up chewing up the finish on it a little bit, but that's fine. These are meant to be used and abused. Once you get one of these sides fully cracked open like this, it's usually easier to just pull on one side and get the other side to release. And then you're going to have 2 separated halves like this. These clips are what holds it in on the side, and as part of that federal regulation of ensuring force, sometimes these can snap off. You'll see like a little tiny chunk of orange plastic. Don't worry about it. That's totally fine. All of these can snap off. It's still going to clip together at the bottom and top and hold together just fine. So if you do end up breaking one of these little tabs, it's not a big deal. Set that to the side. Now there is a Phillips head here and here. We'll need to unscrew those, and then we're going to be just kind of folding this over, being very careful of the wires not to bend those too much or pull on them. So I'll be removing both of these screws, and they're very small, so make sure you do this in an area where if you do drop them, you're not going to lose them in like a shag carpet or on a dirty garage floor. Okay, now that I've got the screws worked all the way out, I'm going to fully remove them from the circuit board. So we've removed our 2 screws. We're going to take this and just gently flip it over. Remembering to be careful of those wires and try not to put too much pressure on them. And this is the battery compartment. These are these 2 CR1632 batteries. Now there's an open side and then a side with a little brace in it. You need to push the batteries out this way. I typically just use the screwdriver, and you just go from the back side here, gently brace the circuit board. You do not want to put too much pressure into it, and push out on that battery, that top battery. And once you get that out there, you can remove the top battery and the bottom battery. So those are out. And then I will grab the 2 new batteries. I've already got them cut open here. So you'll take both of your new batteries and you're going to layer them both plus side up together like that. So they're just going to sandwich together. And then again, gently holding on to this, being careful of the wires in the back. You're just going to take this little like sandwich of batteries and press them all the way into that enclosure, making sure they're seated in there nicely. Gently flip this board back over, and then you're going to line it up with the 2 screw holes there. Take your Phillips head screws. I usually just start with one, get it popped back in there. Once I've got the first one started, then I can get the second one going pretty easy. And then tighten these down. There's a very obvious stop point. You don't want to over snug these. Once they tighten down, they'll just reach a stopping point. That's as far as you need to go. Once we have that, take our back plate. There is a top to it, being these little grooves where that pin goes. There's the bottom. You're going to want to line up the top, like so. Once that top is lined up, you can kind of press down on the top sides, and then work your way down to the bottom and around. And once that is all clicked back together, I like to put my hand over this to kind of muffle the sound, do a quick sound test. And your ADS sound alarm is ready to go. Again, you can dispose of those old batteries, and that is the entire process for placing the batteries in the ADS sound alarm. It's pretty simple. And like I said, this is really only something you need to do, I'd say every 5 years, or if it has sounded for a long time, it's been running a long time, and you notice that chirping sound in that previous clip, then you can go ahead and swap them out. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have any other questions and whatnot, leave them in the comments below or send us an email at our customer service email on the website. We're always happy to answer any questions or issues that you have with any of the sound alarms.